Yeah, we will be talking again about technology in music ministry. First, when I was asked, I was thinking theology in the music ministry. Something like I thought about theology in music ministry. Yes, and Kathy said no, technology. It's tougher because I'm not techie, but we have people who are good in that and they can help me. Everything what you see, you saw upstairs, and I'm sorry, I will be sitting from time to time to work. I'm just afraid that I will be not able to show you everything with the program, how I working when I have this music, because the best way to learn is to do the stuff. And I just wish that we will have here 20 computer station with the program, and we can follow and you can follow, but you will be welcome to approach here, because some things when I will be talking, we will be not able to hear it. I will start with the software, which, just a second, because again, this is my first presentation to adults. They know how I am doing. I have everything on screen, I'm just clicking, then I can have a wig or hat and everything is going right. Here, we will be almost like in the classroom, or studio, rather. Okay, this is the program which we are using, Audacity. The thing that I love about that program is that it's free. You can download that program, the software is free. You don't need to pay anything. You just go. We will have a website. Anytime you will need, we will forward to Kathy.
Yeah. Larry sent me links to any of this today, so if anybody wants it, let me know and I can shoot it and stuff like that.
So we're going to send you a link to take you right to the download site. So Kathy can send you, I made links for her. It's in an email for both this program and the next program. They're all free, open source, and cross-platform, which means they'll work on Windows, Mac, Linux. They are free, which means you don't have to pay for them. Open source means there's no way they can get a virus because hundreds of thousands of people review it every day. So I'm a contributor on all three of these pieces of software.
Well, they didn't hear the name well.
Audacity or Odyssey, depending on how you pronounce it.
Like, you have the audacity to ask that question.
I show you my mouse will go here. You see this icon here. This is the icon of that software. Now, how it works. Kathy and Kathy is recording the music. She will show you how and the technology, because I'm not on the other end. I'm on the end with computer, and everything what is recorded, I put together. But the people who recorded this, they are doing amazing job, because first Kathy have to send them, they have to listen and record, and you heard sometimes it is 20 times, because you will be recording not at studio, you will be recording at your home. You have to find the time that is quiet, because you can say, oh, it's a perfect time, and then neighbors start mowing the grass. or dog will start barking, or phone start ringing. Any good thing can happen, and you have to start over. And sometimes you will be in the end of your phrase, and some crazy motorcycle will come through. But the good news is, you don't need to be afraid, because I always ask people, please, before you start record, have a 5 seconds, start the recording, but do nothing, but I can hear the background. And anything is what is in the background, this program can cancel. That is why I show you how I try to do that, and then I believe you have to try, because I spoke to Prime Bishop, and I said my problem is sometimes I say before I think, and about consequences. And when the pandemic started, I said to Kathy, "Oh, maybe you can record the music and send to people. They record and send to me, and I try to put together." She said, "Okay." Oops. Then I said, "Okay, she record, but people would not." Oops, I get the emails. What now? And then it start problem. You have to learn, and by the fact that we have youth gathering at our church, we have some events coming up. I didn't do any music for 4 weeks now. There's when I opened yesterday, I had how I have to show it. It's like starting from the scratch again, new. Because when you do this every week, you used to do. You don't need to think about it, you're just doing that. Let's go to the program itself. The program looks very, let's say, open new file. It's like regular screen. You have the screen when you have the files. You can figure this out when you download the program. Don't be afraid. Try it. If you mess up, you can download again because it's free, yes? Just delete what you have and download again. This is how it works. Let's say I will try open a file which is already recorded. And we were talking about, I just say, check. Now is the time. Okay. Now is the time, and I try to be organized, but I'm not really well organized. That is, I label each person. You can see now is the time, and that Sunday, it was Pre-Lenten Sunday. You can see in the top screen here that it was the folder. We did this for this year, Pre-Lenten Sunday B. No, it was last year. Okay, then now we have the file. Now is the time organized. I just click on this. I open that file as here. Yes, and all this it looks like a brush or whatever. But when you start working, you will recognize everything. Now you have option to make this file longer, to expand, that you can see more, because this is just a music. And now I'm not positive that you will hear this. That is why we can switch also, especially when we have when I pull few voices, because we would not do all the music, because already I warned you. It is like you're responsible for that. If you start doing that, you have to know that you dedicate a lot of time. In the beginning, God created the world. In the beginning, when I started that, one hymn, it took me about 8 hours. Because I was learning, I try to be perfect, and this is taking a time, consume time. Then it's coming like regular hymn. It depends how many voices you have, how long is hymn. It could take to about 3-4 hours to do one hymn. That is why be aware of that. But effect is like you saw, is worthy. It's worthy. And if you like music, if you like technology, this is what you can do, and for the church. Let's try to hear what it is. We will go faster because, like I said, we will not. It's like a TV show. We're showing that the dinner in 15 minutes. Yes, it's not true. When you start working on that, because they have prep already done. We have the same. We will add another file. You can add another track to the same song, but let's Elizabeth, can I use your track? Okay.
What the first thing you heard was what I recorded to make it sense.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kathy, explain how you do that recording.
I take my phone, I play either on the piano or the keyboard at home, and your phones have a recording button on them. I don't know if you know that, but I have on the Apple, it's called Voice Memos, and I click it, and there's a little red button, and I press the red button, and it starts recording. And then I shut it off because the lawnmower starts. When I record, I do send my husband to the store to do the grocery shop. He used to have to go in the basement and stuff like that, but no, that's it. It's just on the phone. And then on that voice memo, there's a little button to send it. And I can email it. I can do it as a text. You know, you just play and sing at the same time. Or I play and sing at the same time, with the exception of one time. Doing one of the Lenten hymns. It might have been not cross. It was one of the. You had it up there a minute ago.
Krzyżu cierpienia.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
And, the Polish words, I mean, I can pronounce them okay. Sometimes playing and trying to sing them. If the music, you know, okay, I've got a word about this. My keyboard at home, I can record right on the keyboard. Soundtrack. It takes whatever I'm playing and records it. So then I just press the button again, so the music came up and I sang, and then the phone recorded both of us. So if it gets too complicated with music to sing and do that, you know, especially if I get scared that I'm going to have to do it 155 times, I found out that you know, I can do that on the keyboard.
What I can suggest, if you're comfortable to sing without playing, for the purpose of doing the job, it's better to have voices separate and instruments separate. Because sometimes I'm losing her because the organ is loud and I have to lower the, I will show you to adjust to other voices. And now, see, I didn't do this for a while, but as I make mistake, I just try to open new file, which is open new window. We don't want to do that. We just import audio. And then when I click on, now it's time Elizabeth, she's here. Oh, she's there. And what you can do now, you can listen just to her. You just press solo, and you can hear. And this is the moment that you cannot hear this, but I show you something. I will just, let's see. I will make this a little bigger, and oh, too far. All this is background noise. If you would like to hear this, we can switch to the headphone, and you can hear this. I have to do this at home because you have all the noises around, and this is killing me because you can hear every background sound. And through the speakers you don't hear this, but what is helping us, what you can do, now when I have this background, I just make it, I have shortcut, but this is, you can find this effects, and it's called noise reduction. You highlight the part when in the beginning when you can hear this background noise. You just click Get Noise Reduction, then you highlight entire scheme, do the same, and now you click OK, and computer start working, and it's less. And I'm going until I do not hear anything in this part. Then when it's clear, except, you know, it's just like a this kind of noise, or somebody is coughing, or this is not bother you or me. Just the background noise, like a refrigerator is working, or some noise, because you have some static noise all the time. We reduce that. And then when I had this, when I found this note to entire, because this noise will be popping up during the hymns, when person is singing. That is why what I'm doing after, I'm just highlight until the person, and I always do this like, oh, I have to know where she really starts. Okay, when she starts, all come is here. And I try now. Okay, it's nothing, it's good. But I don't want to cut any letter, any sound where she is singing. And now I am doing, it is a silence. I highlight this part and I do the silence. But now you cannot hear anything there. It's just clear. This has also helped me because at some point, people, when you record, you don't start exactly the same time. You start singing, but on the file, it's not exactly the same time when I put this together. Because when, let's say, let's play this together, just Kathy and Elizabeth. You are not able to do that because you don't know how big is her file, where she started. You're just starting to, when you hear that this is the time that you have to sing together. Okay, now you have this part which we clear will help us to adjust her to the singer to organist. And you basically, what I'm doing, I'm finding where, and you can do this in the beginning when I started, I was writing down, you have here a meter, where is your cursor. And you see here is you are at 6, 5.3 seconds, yes, of the music. And I was counting, and the difference is the beginning. It takes a lot of time. This is what happened with this 8 hours. Then I realized I can do this faster. I just pointed where she is. She's starting here, yes. If I will mute this voice and see, she's there. She's starting from here. And I remember she's starting from here. It's about 11.5 seconds. This I try to move this voice to that point. This, we have complete silence here, yes. This I just can copy this and then paste and try to see if she's already there, not yet. Then I can make a little smaller. And again, copy this and paste this. Almost, we almost there. One more time, too far. It's better when you go too far, because then I can just get where Kathy starts singing, moving the cursor lower, and just go to that point and just simply cut. And say it's almost there. I don't want to go to technical stuff because we have no few hours to do that. But what is else if you would like to be perfect and you use the headphones? You can slow the track. And I usually do is playback speed. I'm going to like 0.6 of regular speed. And then you have nice basses when you hear this, but it's help you to really match the voices, because let's see if it will be already there or not? It's almost, but when you have the headphones, you will be hearing this, and then you start adjust to match the voices. I will not do this because it's I have to have headphones, it will be bored, and I don't want to, but you will say, okay, I don't do that. You have to enjoy to doing that. I will just show you a fun parts of the, how it's really fun to do that. Also, what you can do, because people are taking breath, yes, when you're singing. That is why, see, when you will be doing for a while, you recognize right away the part when people taking the breath. And you don't want to hear this, yes, because that is why when you will be recording or asking for record, people will be using cell phones or something, maybe mics, but you will be not in studio. That is every puff, every breath, it will, you can hear this. That is why, but it's, you can eliminate that. You just highlight this, and again, you make it silent. What else will help you when you do that? When you do the silence, let's say, oops. No, stop. Okay. It was neighbor cutting the grass, yes, no. Again, I try to be, no, I cannot be precise, okay.
While he's doing this, you see, just how long it's taken him. We've got over 100 songs we've done. The amount of hours he has spent is just, it amazes me. Absolutely amazing.
Now you have, this part is clear. You cannot hear this, yes?
He made us hear.
What else it helped you, that this part, because again, people are singing separate. And sometimes you have tendencies singing a little faster, a little slower. You have no director but point you, now you start, now you start. No, people have to hear this, but it is sometimes it's just a millisecond and you can hear this. That is why you have here, you see this difference between her and her. This is where Kathy starts singing. This is where Elizabeth starts singing, but you can, because you have silence here, you can just copy this silence and extend and match these two voices. You have more technique, but you can do that. You can even, at some point, you will be tempted to cut the voices, and sometimes you have to do that. Because somebody is singing, oh, and somebody says, oh, and you have 2 seconds different, what you will do. And I always hear Kathy because I'm not singing, but I'm going to choir because I love to listen when they have practice. I say, now you end it, don't do, But you have to cut this, that everybody will be in the same end of the beginning. That is why sometimes you have to cut these people. And you can do this. You can do this in this program, but you have to be careful, because when you start be tempted to cut too much, it's happened. I have to figure out how, because I didn't have time to figure this out. We will do this with Elsie. And it's coming static, and noise static notes, because we're coming from one frequency to another, and it's create a noise like a pop, which eventually, if you have few voices and instruments, you would not hear this playing. But I would like to have everything perfect. I have to erase it. That is why you can also do this to avoid the static, cutting the long end, highlighting the end, and effects, and just fade out. And they will have but not making a difference with the frequency and the static noise. And you can do this, you lose this voice. But if you have 4 other voices, you cannot notice this. When you notice the cut, yes? But if I will, when Elsie will figure out how to do the static, I'll let you know. Anytime you have questions, we can do this. And we can update. And you do this with, you can do this with all the voices. You just please remember, when you have a track, you don't open or do new one, you go to import an audio, and you have another track. And we have Dana. We were working with Dana for a long time, because you can see now the difference of quality and when you record something. This is how strong is record the waves, how they are going big, and you have here the smaller. When you have to adjust this, you have volume here, but you can adjust here volume. But this voice will be louder, or you can just highlight all the voice and go to effects, come on, and amplify it. And you amplify this and say, if it is a set, you can change this. You can go less, let's say we just amplify 10. And you see it's bigger, it's louder, yes. But, yes, question?
Why does that happen? Well,
quality of microphone, quality of phone that you use. We tried different things with, Dana started using also microphone that attached to iPhone, but it's not working. Sometimes you can live very close to power line. These big ones is a huge effect. But you can adjust them. But also you have to remember that you will adjust all the noises. That is why you have to watch and all the time listen. And the best way, like I said, you don't hear this when you use the speakers, when you use these headphones, then you hear everything. But don't kill yourself like I'm killing mine to be really perfect, because it's worthy, but well, we are not turtles, we don't live 300 years, yes. Okay, now I show you how this particular song looks together. This one. Now is the time. Now, here is already everything done. Is cut, is put together, all these voices. Mostly you can see, because visually you can see that almost everybody is ending the same time. And let's see how it sounds. Let's see, not from the beginning, let's maybe where the I don't want to play all because we limited with the time. But I will show you a cool thing that you can do this. When you finally do the hymn, you relax and say, now I play with that. I enjoy myself. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing like this. I mute all the parts. Oops. Let's say I mute all the parts. And I made one joke. I sent, Kathy was talking about that, about John singing both tenors, and I sent him, John, I have Stashik Brothers recorded a song. And I play just a... And you can record just and play. And you can unmute somebody.
That's within our darkness, make us your home. Now is the time. Unto us you say, I will not forget you. Be with us you.
A cappella, yes.
Do not be afraid. Take hold of us, our hearts are mine.
You can play and you can enjoy. Oh, I can change it. Now I'm director, yes. I'm a very important person. And usually happens 4 a.m. Okay, this is the one hymn that I would like to show you. I don't know how much time we have.
We've got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I just show you how it looks. I'm sorry. Okay, it was you saw upstairs the slides, yes? Then it's another program, OpenShot. When you open this program, it's also free.
Free open source and cross-platform.
You just download here, and I didn't put because I wasn't sure, but let's say I put Alleluia. I don't know what it is even, and you just drag this okay, already some file, but you can. Oh, I forget one more thing. Just a second. Where is this? Now it's time over. Now is the time. When you're done with everything, you go to export, and you can choose the file. I'm doing this MP3 file, and you record this. You record this, and you always can work in the same file all the time. You just have to save project as, and then just when you are done, you just save the project. If somebody else will add you the music or voice track, you can always add it, and you will be working with the same project. I have almost, when I figure this out, oh, I can do this, I have almost all our songs open, still open, that anybody can add. You can add instruments. I still can correct, because sometimes I come into the first hymns which we did, and I learn a little more. I say, I will correct these voices a little bit, but because sometimes I didn't know that I can slow down and listen, or I can adjust this, something like that. But you don't afraid that the first leave and save your first one. Then you will come back and you can already working on that. And don't forget, if you add one, this is a mistake which I did, don't forget, when you do one or even partially, just you have your save, just save this again. Because this program do not save automatically. Maybe it is, I didn't figure this. Then you are tired, say, oh, I'm done for today. You close, boy, I forget to save. And you have to start over. But when you save, you can come back and work on that. And you saw this OpenShot.
Hang on. So when you're saving in Audacity, you're saving the project, you're saving all the WAV files and everything. When you export, that's when you make the music that you can play in church. So export actually combines all those tracks together. Well, whatever you highlight, you can export just a couple tracks, all the tracks, whatever. When you export it into a WAV file, MP3, the different audio formats, that's how you can send it to somebody, they can listen to it. But you want to save your projects too, so that you can add tracks, music, whatever you want to do. So one of the things we do is keep all the original files so we could remix it later the files are really small. So when you record on a phone or you record on a device, an MP3 is tiny. It's a tiny little file. The phones come with enough memory. You could have years of music on a phone. It would not bother it. So the kids have all their music in much higher fidelity than this, and they can have hundreds of thousands of songs on a phone. So it's not really an issue. And they email really quickly. It doesn't take any data. But the difference between save and export. So if you want to listen to it, you need to, if you want somebody else to listen to it, they need to export it. But if you want to save it so you can work on it later, that's save.
Because you will be not able to open all the tracks when you do not save in this system. I say, I'm not there. Same thing with that program, but we can do with some, if you have questions, you can explore this, because when you do ADASI, you can also do OpenShot. This is for videos. You add the already track MP3 file or MP4 file or any other JPEG, and you can create, you can just, let's see, very quickly, I'm sorry, Kathy. Hallelujah, Jesus is alive. I open, because you can also save as a project. You have, and you can see here, this is all this JPEG files is used here. This is a soundtrack MP3 file, which is the first track. And on top of that, I put the all these files, JPEG as pictures, as video files, and you can play with that. And then when you play this, you can see this is a preview window. You play this. Just a touch of that program, because I believe that we have to have all day. And like I said, the best way will be if you will have your laptop, this program, and then we can work together. Anything else? Any questions that I will be? Yes, Bruce?
Yes, Kathy or Father Senior. So when you text or email the original file that Kathy plays to the choir members, so they can, on their cell phone, play it and sing it and record it at the same time, or how does that work?
Okay, so your best bet for something when you want to record it is you have someone else play the music, or you can play it on a computer through headphones and then sing and record on your phone.
Okay.
That's why I bought the phone, because like I said, I record on it, so all my files are on here. And you could listen to, like I was going to do Lord this morning as the demonstration. You would put the headphones on, hear me singing and playing, and then you would take your phone, or like somebody, like your phone here today, Donna, you have a laptop, no, you have an iPad,
Tablet.
right? Yeah, iPad and then a phone to record. So you do need two devices. One to listen to me off of your headset, because you don't want to record you and me and the organ together. You just want to record your own voice.
Yeah, me and my
That's
mom,
why.
me and my mother just use her phone to record, my phone to play the music.
And they share, you share a headphone? No.
Yeah, like my
One of you share. That's it. I do have to tell you a funny story. How many of you are familiar with the hymn, Lord send thy Holy Spirit, and then Lord send thy, okay, now, you know that, the men started off, right? Okay, so John started off, Lord send thy Holy Spirit, and then we came in and stuff like that. I never sent in the beginning the sheet music, Father Senior. So Father Senior had no idea that it was supposed to be the men and the women, so he's putting the two together, and that first hymn of, that first statement, Lord send thy Holy Spirit, was the Lord send up, and then finally we'd get together and then we'd do that part again, so he says, well. So now when I scan the music, he gets the copy as well. We did it again this Easter, and I think it was better.
Lord, send thy Holy Spirit.
Lord, send thy Holy Spirit.
Lord, send thy Holy Spirit. Lord, send thy Holy Spirit.
The first one was a disaster.
Okay, this is basically, if you, any other questions? If not,
In the corner.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
license.
license, we rather got a call from, one of the parishes in Philadelphia area or something like
Yes.
that, Baptist church about, I remember somebody was fined $100,000 because they were broadcasting music and the copyrights and all that. So we talked about it as a parish and said if we're gonna continue to do this, we need to get the license. So there's a, it's onelicense.net. And, you can, the license is either for publishing it in print, like the mass booklet that we had the other day, where you printed the music for people, or it's also for broadcasting. So we got the video or license for both. It's $277 a year. And if you noticed up on the songs, we had to put a credit up there, like tonight's concert, because we're broadcasting it on YouTube. I have to go home, because I forgot to do it, and type up all the credits for the song.
Like, yeah, for our song, we don't need.
Yeah, no. But it's for like the song Now Is the Time You Heard, or Hallelujah, Love Is Alive. Yes, Mary.
When you record on the phone,
Yeah.
for $18 on, when Amazon has a sale, you can get a headset with a microphone. And if everybody has the same headset with a microphone, you'll more uniformity sound and the sound quality will be much
yeah,
better.
it's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Well, like I said, we did this during COVID, people were going out shopping or things like that. And, you know, yeah, in general, yeah. But, the onelicense.net, like I said, we have to put the credit up there. They don't have every publisher, not every song is there, but most of the songs we would use in our church, if it's not a PNCC and are covered. There's a couple of, some of them, not right. I'm trying to think of the one guy who likes so much. Anyway,
Oh, Matt,
no, Marty Hogenstein.
Matt,
Oh, yeah.
Matt Damon? No. Oh,
Anyway,
10,000 reasons, right?
yeah.
well, but that's, we can do his song.
Yes, because
You
he-
can't- no, but you can't play his version.
Yes,
of it.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
him singing it.
Because I believe that
But no, but there was
since
another-
this year he's included in the
There's
license.
another composer, but he's through ASCAP, and ASCAP is not through one license. So if it's ASCAP, you have to get special permission. But most of the stuff, Hope Publishing, Lorenz Publishing, all that, they're all in there. And you have to report what you use. So once a month, I sit down and it takes like 10 minutes. I go to the website, I go to the week that I did it. I type in the first couple words of the song, I look for it, and it asks you how many times you used it that week. And, you know, we use it on Sunday. The ones that Father uses usually on the week during the weekday masses is mostly our church songs. There is when you use the Gloria, because the Gloria is one of the ones that's licensed, I just click on it, we get it like 5 times that week, depending on how many masses. But it's very quick, it's simple. I am not a technology person, and it's easy enough for me to do. But we feel like that we've covered ourselves, and we certainly don't want to get, fined. And with us broadcasting the masses, I don't know if you've heard that, but we do have a lady who lives in the state of Washington, and she watches the masses. And like our masses at 9 o'clock, she gets up at 6 o'clock to watch it. And we feel like we're doing her a service. I know Lauren has watched some when she's been in Chicago. I know my son has watched them sometimes when he couldn't. He's in work, sitting at work because he has to be there on Sunday. He's got mass going on. And it's really helped, I think, an outreach and stuff to us. But the license has covered, and if you have any, need any information on it, I'll be happy to send you anything or talk with you about it and stuff like that.
When you said that, let's say Regina and I are going to do a song, and you said it's cross-platform, and I can sing it, send it to Regina, she can make edits. First of all, does it say to your computer?
It does. It's not cloud-based.
I would have to export it to Regina. Regina can make her edits, and then she would have to export
No,
that to me.
no, if you're using the same program, if you both have Audacity, you can save the project and send the project to her, and all your changes will be in there. You only have to export it once you want to listen to it for someone that does not have the program. So to play it in church, I don't have Audacity upstairs. To play it in an MP3 or send it to somebody to listen to, back to the choir members who aren't going to have Audacity, they need an MP3 or a WAV file or something like that. But if you're both editing it in different parts of the country, you just send the actual project file.
So we just send it back and forth.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you have a Mac and she has a PC, doesn't care. She'll still open the same project file.
But if she doesn't send it back, I won't have her edits.
Correct.
So Regina send it back to Wendy, would you? Where we really need to get up with rehearsals and stuff.
Can I
Yeah, Larry?
I just want to make one comment. So this may look scary to people that aren't technically ready for this, but the beauty of it is it's all offline. So until you're ready, you don't have to present it in church. You can practice for weeks, months, years. When you're ready, you're ready. I heard a comment earlier in the session, earlier in the week, somebody said it's really scary. I think it's less scary than performing live. This is not live. I mean, if you make a mistake when you're singing on the choir, everybody hears it. If you make a mistake here, you just re-record it. I mean, and if you...
Can I ask, Larry, would you find the file I sent you on Called to Sing? Last year for our scholarship application, Rachel Kurbach, who was Diane and Robert's daughter.
There should be on there, the Call to Sing.
Did, for one of her pieces, a Call to Sing, or him. She didn't do the bass part, but she did soprano, alto, and the tenor line, and played it, and recorded it on her keyboard. Okay, you asked about that before. She can record and keep adding things, and I'd like you to just hear it, because I was so blown away. We used it this year on Music Scholarship Sunday, because I knew we weren't going to be able to sing live, and we just played her recording. I asked for her permission. She said, oh, sure. But the one she did this year, even more phenomenal. But this is her playing and singing.
So you'll be playing the piano part and singing all the voice parts at the exception of the bass part, which my vocal cords would not want to do. But yeah, so you'll hear my soprano voice, my alto voice, my very low alto voice, and I focus on working my studies on my soprano voice. And then you will also be witnessing a little bit of my digital recording skills, which I've been working on lately.
Rachel talks a lot.
As a musician, to help figure out how to record and publish music in high quality, but without high cost. So these are some of the things this is designed to demonstrate. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much.
This year she did a song with her friend. She did the alto and the soprano. Her friend did the bass and the tenor, and they did one of the songs from the Strebny, and it was just her voice in 1 year. She said she was working on her voice and improved so much. before we go upstairs, program book, if you would like to take one now. And then I have for everybody, the Singer's edition of the manual that Sue looked out of yesterday. I also have, where'd that one go? Oh, I also have 3